Out and about in London this afternoon. Is that the case? Is everybody happy?
No.
Just forgot. How is everybody doing this afternoon? Is everybody happy?
No. No.
We're not really going to Greenwich. I was just seeing who could understand me or who was even bothered about where we was going. Not much of a response there, but we're going to turn the boat around in a minute. We're going to head up to Westminster Pier. Is that better? Okay, Westminster Pier and the London. Okay, next port of call. Okay. Journey time is about 25-30 minutes up to Westminster. As we leave Tower Pier, folks, what we have to do is provide a little safety announcement. Okay, it's just a law requirement out here on the Thames. Now, the vessel that we're all travelling on, folks, is fully equipped. If anybody is still a little bit nervous, there's a bar downstairs. Okay, it's open throughout the duration of the journey. Toilets are also situated downstairs at the back of the boat, so you are free to get up, move around. Just be very careful if you do, because we get rocked about by some of the passing boats. Okay, so just be very careful when moving around the boat, especially when using the stairs at the back there. Okay. Now, as I said, we're going to take it up onto Tower Hill to await execution. A few famous people to go through Traitors Gate and never return were Anne Boleyn, one of Henry VIII's wives, Sir Thomas More, and Guy Fawkes. Today, the Tower houses the Crown Jewels. Okay, there's almost 1,000 years of history inside the Tower, and if you haven't visited the Tower, is about to cross the centre of Tower Bridge, giving you a lovely picture. Two iconic sites of London in the one shot there. In most shops, that is a £10 postcard, that picture. So, I don't even care what you're looking at. Usually you need to book online to go up to but this is the only Union Jack you'll see flying in London today. Whenever you see exactly the same flag flying anywhere else, like on a building, for example, here to the right, highest viewing platform in London, which on a clear day gives you views of around 50 miles in all directions. In all honesty, it's not much to look at, but it's all about the history with London Bridge. We've had a bridge here now for 2,000 years, dating back to the Romans. The London Bridge, which stood before this one, was sinking into the mud. It was going to be demolished until an American businessman bought the bridge for $2 million. He had it taken down stone by stone and shipped it out to America, and it was re-erected in America, in Arizona. Lake Havasu, Arizona, is where the old London Bridge. Many years ago, a young boy called John Harvard, the son of a local trader. Now, John Harvard grew up, emigrated to America, where he helped found the Harvard University of Massachusetts. And folks, if we look ahead of us on the right, and if we're very lucky, we may get to see someone. You see some terrible sights in there some days. Some days you wish you'd never looked. But some days are that good, we turn the boat around and we take another look. It's from the old London Bridge. For almost 2,000 years, there was just one river crossing. That was London Bridge, until the 1700s, when Westminster Bridge was built. But this was built to help the congestion on London Bridge. And it's pretty ironic that it is London's least used bridge today, mainly due to the fact that a lot of approach roads and signposts that lead you onto the bridge, they're well hidden in the one-way streets and the back streets of the city of London. Now, folks, over to the left, we have a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. You see the white circular structure, it's got a thatched roof. It's an exact replica of Shakespeare's Globe, built in the same way the original would have been built. This was the idea of a man called Sam Wanamaker. Now, he was a film and a theatre director who sadly died before its completion. But the project was taken on by his daughter, Zoe Wanamaker. and it was opened by herself and the Queen just over 20 years ago. They reenact Shakespeare's plays inside the building. Okay, it's the only building here in London allowed a thatched roof since the Great Fire of London of 1666. The original Globe Theatre burnt down, not during the Great Fire, because that was on the right side of the river. The original Globe burnt down during the performance of a play. Now, during of a cannon, so they used the cannon. The cannon misfired and burnt the theatre down. That is what happened to the original Globe. We know it better as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge, opened by the Queen on a Saturday morning, closed the very same afternoon by the police for being unsafe. It used to sway from side to side. On the right you can see the dome at the cross of St Paul's Cathedral, Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece, which took him 35 years to build. Above the grey dome there's a viewing platform, and if you're willing to climb over 500 steps to get there, the views are pretty good. Almost as good as the views from the London Way. Okay, but there's no lift to get up there, so it's hard work getting there. Hard work getting in the city.
What's that for?
What, these red pillars? These red pillars either side of us, all that remain of the very first railway bridge to span the River Thames. They could not remove the supports for fear of disturbing the foundations of the bridges on either side. Roughly the halfway point up to Westminster Pier, folks. How's it going so far? How am I doing? Are you enjoying the trip so far, folks? I hope you are. You're understanding.
No.
To our right, there's a building with a green sloping roof. There's a black pinnacle on the top. This is the old City of London School, where many famous dignitaries were taught in London. And if you look in between the arched windows of the building, you can see 4 statues. From left to right, John Milton, William Shakespeare, Sir Francis Bacon. The one on the end with the football by his leg is David